So today I'm going to talk you through the house buying process because I'm now at my finale. And in case you didn't know, in the UK for 20 plus years, maybe a bit more than that, but that will be giving away a few too many secrets. I was an estate agent, I was a property manager, I was a property financer. And so the system here, I might just reflect with my experiences in the UK, but for you guys thinking about buying, here's what I did, and hopefully you can take something from it. So I found a house. Now, okay, something else. Dependent on what area you choose. So if you're choosing something in Selangor or Cyberjaya, which is very close to KL, then your purchase price as a foreigner is going to be higher. I believe it's 2 million, but that's subject to change. So let's talk about me in Malacca, where my landed property purchase had to be a minimum of 1 million. If I buy an apartment, I can buy an apartment. They're called condominiums here. And I have to say, blocks are decent. You not only have really spacious accommodation, lots of bathrooms, beautifully constructed and maintained and clean, but you also have a facility in there like your swim, your gym, your sauna, your shop, everything within your condominium, and a nice garden area, a nice barbecue area, and if you're lucky you'll get a balcony. But 500 is a big spend because here in Malaysia the locals wouldn't usually spend that kind of money. It's only foreigners that have to buy at that price and above. But remember that when you sell it, you're probably going to have to do the same because locals won't be buying at that price. Anyway, for me, I bought in Malacca. Landed is the 1 million. The 2 million apartments are less, depends on the area that you choose. Why did I choose Malacca? Actually, the Country Villa Resorts is only 10 minutes from the motorway toll, which means I can be in KL in an hour. And we've done it, and you can do it within 1 hour. And the good thing is that when you're living in KL, if you buy in outskirts higher amount of money, like the 2 mils, for example, you would take potentially in rush hour at least an hour to get home. So the way I see it, this is the other direction that not everyone's traveling. So I'm a think out of the box kind of gal. I want to be in a direction that not everyone is going. And that's why I chose CVR, Country Villa Resorts, which is in an area called Bemban, nested in a golf course, surrounded by greenery, bordering the coastline, gives me fresh air, gives me that kind of rural setting that I like, but easy access to KLCC because I like to get into the city for work purposes, but also, you know, the vibes, the great vibes in KL. So let me talk you through what I spent and how much I paid and when I had to pay it. And I'll also talk to you about financing here as well. So my purchase price was just over 1 million ringgits. All right, nice and clear? Superb. I did this in England all the time, by the way. And actually people liked it, but this is my teacher mode. Right, as soon as I saw the property, let me just rewind a little bit on that because I didn't just see the property. I employed Intan. She is a local estate agent in KL. She was the only one that responded to me and was responsive all the way through. So I thought, you know, let me pay her because I'm busy doing my own stuff. So I agreed that I would pay her 1% of my purchase price to help me find a property. So she became my property finder and her details are in my link tree. If you want her, she will help you, not only with sales, purchasing, but also with rental. So that was just one of the extra expenses that I haven't included in here because not everybody's gonna do that. If you're capable of searching yourself, I'll put details of websites and platforms that you can go to look. Anyway, this is off plan. It wasn't actually off plan, but there were others off plan. Brand new house in a resort, which means that it's all gated, security, clubhouse, pool, gym, gardens, walkways, basketball, playing area, very safe, very secure. I love the idea of that. So this was my purchase price, 1 mil. Then I had, as soon as I agreed the purchase price and both sides were in acceptance, we had a letter of intent issued. There was quite a bit of toing and froing there that Intan did to try and agree this price. And at that point, to secure it, I had to pay 30,359. Once that was done, it was then, solicitors were agreed and I had an approval fee to pay. And I think that kind of like seals things. It's like a sealing fee, but still part of the overall. You'll see exactly what I mean when you get to the bottom. You don't get fleeced for fees. It's quite black and white. Intan found me 3 solicitors and they were all pretty similar. She tried to negotiate for me as well. She saved me a little bit. And I paid 30,300. I got a bit confused because I thought, is this the same as this? But when I checked my bank, no, it's not. This was paid separately and this was paid separately. Then you had the finance redemption. So the process in between was I was given an S&P, sales and purchase agreement. That's like in the UK when we have a contract and the contract is exchanged, you're both now agreeing to sell, agreeing to buy, and you can't back out. This, I guess, is a bit like putting down a 10% deposit or 5%. So this S&P is your actual very important document that is carried out. So I did this I put this down in December and then I paid this in March when I came back because I popped over home again and came back. S&P was issued around March time. And then this didn't happen until quite a while after. There were lots of, you have to do like as a foreign investor, they do a legal check on your background to make sure that you aren't a money launderer, that you haven't committed fraud, that you're not on some wanted list. Because they're not going to let you buy property here if you are. Credit history, I don't think that impairs your ability to purchase, but it's important because they'll do a foreign check. I think it's called the FIC, and that takes 3 months. So that's the difference. That's why our purchase will take a lot longer, even if you're buying with cash. So at this point as well, you can go to the finances. So you can go to the banks and see if they will agree to lend you the money to make your purchase. Same system as the UK, 5%, 10%, 20%, whatever deposit you want to put down, but it depends on you and your history as to the rate that you'll get. Rates here are typically 3.6 to 3.9%, and they're generally fixed, but you can talk to Intan, she'll walk you through that process. Are you able to use income from the UK? Yes, and it does help if you bank with the likes of HSBC, because over here they'll be able to see or speak to the counterparts in the UK to see a regular income stream coming in. But if you're able to prove your income, then that's also something that can be used. So yes, you can finance here as well. So next move was around August time here. August. Now that all the legals were completed, there were additional searches in Malacca, additional tax to pay because it's a different state. I had to pay an extra £7,000, which I wasn't expecting, but unfortunately the law had changed and that was included or introduced, and that was an extra £7,000 I had to pay. So I had to go to, there's 2 ways of doing it. I can send the money to my solicitor. My solicitor sends it to the seller's solicitor. The seller's solicitor then pays the vendor's finance off first, and then the house is now freed. However, because I wanted to speed things along a little bit, I went to the bank of the vendor with the redemption statement and I paid off the finance, but under the shadow of the solicitor so that I'm protected, because that is a lot of money. Now, the next step from here was this amount of money, which was paid over to the solicitor that dealt with the legal stamp and land office. 42,420. That was paid just recently to the solicitor. In fact, you know what? I think I might No, that's right. That's paid for the legal, the stamp, and the land office. And that's 42,420, which actually I haven't paid yet. I'm going to pay it on Monday. I was going to do it on Friday, but in order to do this, I have to go to a bank physically because I'm only allowed as a foreigner to do transactions in 10,000 ringgit hits. So to pay that kind of money over, I would have had to send lots of 10,000s. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to go and do this physically in a branch. The reason why they do that, it's a large sum of money. They want to make sure that you've got additional security. They don't allow you to do that online, which I think is quite good, right? It's a safety mechanism. So I've got to pay this, and then that's the final balance, including my legal. Now that totals 1,014,000 ringgits. So I was thinking there must be a little bit more to come, because if I've paid 1 and 10, that's 1 and 14, then that's only 4,000 for the legal, which doesn't look right to me, but I could be wrong. I'm going to contact the solicitor because I can't find, my bad, the original list that she gave me, and I know I should have kept it. It's here somewhere. And what you should be doing is you should just be ticking off as you're going along, but I like my solicitor and I trust her, and at the end of the day there are multiple precautionary measures here. She ain't going to lose her license just for the sake of me, trust me, and a little bit of money, and a lot of honesty and integrity exists. So that's my purchase journey. This has taken me from the start in December. We're now ending September, and I expect in a week's time, I will finally get my VP, vacant possession, or in the UK, we call it completion. Now, I sold off properties that I owned as commercials in the UK to raise the capital for me to be able to buy. I was planning on going down the MM2H route, but they changed things, right? They paused it, and they've changed the structure of it. I could later on, if I wanted to, carry on with the MM2H, because now I'm a property owner and it goes in favour, and they use the money that I've paid for my house towards the final figure of the application for visa, and that would give me a 5-year visa. I like the sound of it. The trouble with that is it won't permit me to work for anyone here. And that's the bit that I feel like I don't want. I want to be able to work. And if somebody offers me a job, I want to be able to take it. So I utilize resources from UK and work that I do for people in the UK for my general living. And I also have a job here now with Malaysia Gazette, so that kind of funds our living. But also, I think that once you have a house, you have a bit more of a solid base. And I now have an employment visa, which allows me to stay, I think, for 12 months. But you know, the employer is dealing with all of that. And that's something that you can do. So if you're wondering how you can get work, I feel that the only way for you to do that is to come here with your tourist visa that you've got for 3 months and get stuck in, get yourself known, get out there, approach employers, secure yourself a job. They will pay for the whole visa process for you and for your dependents, and you can start living. And you can rent. You don't have to buy. Just because I purchased, because I invest in property, this was a bloody good investment, because when I purchased this, my exchange rate was 6 to 1. And now the ringgit has become stronger to the pound. It's 5.5 to 1. And that's going to make quite a big difference when you're talking these kind of figures. So alhamdulillah, I managed to save some money that way. The unexpected tax stamp duty for Malacca kind of swallowed up some of that savings, but again, alhamdulillah to that, because I didn't pay it to start with, did I? It just comes in and goes out. I'm sure you know the feeling. Anyhow, I hope this has helped you understand what the house buying process is, whether you live locally or whether you're a foreigner. If you're a local, you just cut out that foreign bit, and of course you're going to go in for some finance from the lender. Intan's details are in my link tree, which is in my TikTok profile, but also in my Instagram. You'll just see the link tree there. And if you want to speak to her, you can get details for her in there. She's a really great, helpful lady. In addition to that, there is also a link for Country Villa Resorts for the house that I've purchased. There's an agent who lives locally and I've put his details in, and if you want any more information, you can get it all there. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, all of it. I hope you've enjoyed the video.